Alright. Okay, this is try number 4. Something's gone wrong every time I've tried to make this video. Over the last week or so, I've been cleaning up different pieces of cast iron, taking it down to bare metal, and then rebuilding the seasoning layer back up. Some of them was just for curiosity purposes. Some of it was actually for a purpose. I've got this pan right here is the size is a number 3, which makes it 6.5 inches across. And there's a few people that they go through and swear by these because you can fit. They say that it's perfect size for 3 eggs, but actually I found that it's a better size for 4 eggs. But other than that, I can't say that I've ever used a 3 for anything. It probably would work for 1 hamburger, but normally I've got a griddle that's about this size that I use to fry things like that, like grilled cheese sandwiches or hamburgers. I'm gonna clean this one back up. I cleaned it earlier, but it needs to be redone. And have a better job on the seasoning done. So I've got about 8 of these number 3s, and they're made. This one here is made by Wagner Ware it was made by Wagner in the 40s and 50s, and I've got maybe 3 Wagners. I've got other makers too, like Griswold, Birmingham Stove and Range, Lodge, and some others too. There's a few. There's some Asian pieces that I have up there. I just when I see good cast iron, I grab it, whether it's Asian or whether it's American, and then I sort it out later, because it's all got value. It's just might not be valuable to you. Alright, so I found this pan. This is an actual frying pan, and it's 4 inches across. It's 4.5 across the pour spouts. This one's made by Favorite out of Pica, Ohio, and this company also made a line called Pica Ware, and you'll notice on a lot of these pans, the second name is always Ware, and that's because in the time of wood stoves and coal burning stoves, the actual term used for frying pans was hollow ware. So that's where many of the company names have got ware on the bottom side of it. This pan here is called a Puritan, and it was also made by Favorite Pica. And this is a very nice pan. It's a Favorite Pica. They sold manufacturing capacity, and this pan here was sold by Sears and Roebuck, and it's a very good pan. It doesn't have a collector value because it doesn't have the famous name. This here is a number 2 Scotch bowl, and this mark right here is called a gate mark, and that puts it as a piece of cast iron that was made largely before 1900. When a pan was made after 1900, you can see on some of these other ones, you'll see right along that edge, that top edge, if I can get it in the light, that top edge, that rim, you can see the grind marks all the way around. After about 1900, that's when the foundries switched over to another piece of technology that instead of pouring the molten iron through a seam in the mold, they put the seam right along the edge and pour it from there. So this one's a number 2, and this one over here is a number 3. And can you see the difference? There's a lot of people that correlate the numbers on the bottoms of these pans and think that all of them correspond to how wide the pan is. This pan right here is a number 8, and this just happens to be 10¼ inches across. This pan over here is an 8, and they fit together, and they also happen to be 10¼ inches across. But this pan here is a 2, and it's nowhere near being smaller than those pans over there. This pan is roughly 9¾ inches across. What happened was there was 2 different systems. When cast iron pans first started being used, they were designed to be used as a set on a wood-burning stove. Wood-burning stoves had covers on them that you could take off. They were called eyes. And then the different brands of stoves and different models of stoves, even between the same manufacturer, these eyes, this is a number 2 eye, and the cover would come off the stove, and this was intended to fit into that hole opening. This pan over here has got a heat ring also. This is a number 8. This pan was made by Griswold. It's called an Iron Mountain. It's it's just like this other pan over here that's marked as a Puritan. This pan was made by Griswold as a no-name bargain brand retail store discount pan. It's still a very good pan. It was made by a very good manufacturer, but this pan is it has no collector value other than the fact of the novelty. These smaller miniatures here, these were sold as novelties and basically like state fair sampler pieces, so that you can go and buy a sampler piece from this manufacturer, so that you can get a piece in your hand and then decide whether it's good or bad. These have grooves right here on both of their handles, and they're meant to either hold the handle of a spoon, and then the messy part sits here for you could set this on your stove, or they were meant to be used as an ashtray. A lot of them were used as ashtrays. This pan right here started off life intended to be used as a frying pan. This pan in my hand here is larger than these other two miniatures, but it weighs about 2/3 as much. This is a really good example of favorite pica. It's got a very thin sidewall. It's got a finely finished surface on the inside that takes once you season it up, it's a really slick, almost Teflon style finish, non-stick finish. Lodge also makes small stuff. This is one of their melting pots that's got a really small lid that'll fit the top of it. This is called a Scotch bowl. This is a very early piece. This is a soup pot. The bottom is completely rounded, and that's intended so that there's no corner pieces that anything can stick in. So you stick your wooden spoon inside here, and it everywhere it touches, it's a rounded surface. So when you stir it, you're stirring everything. And this was meant to, with the wire bail, it was meant to fit over into your fireplace hearth and hang over your campfire. I was really happy to find this. And this piece here is made by Wagner Ware. It's got a really unique handle. This is a Wagner Ware pan, genuine Wagner Ware pan. This handle, though, was designed by Griswold. In 1957, Griswold was purchased by a corporation in, I think it was out of New York. Pretty much all the way through time, the biggest companies were always out of New York in America. And this corporation bought Griswold out, and that corporation also owned Wagner. And eventually, Wagner Ware absorbed all of the patterns for Griswold. So this handle is a Griswold handle, and it appeared in the Wagner Ware product line after 1957, and they passed a law in 1960 where all cast iron needs to be marked for the country of origin. So after 1960, right through here, you'd see Made in USA. So this pan here was manufactured after 1957, and before 1960. And this is a very handy pan. It's a chef skillet. It's 9 inches across, and it's really handy to use. So slowly, I'm gathering up the pans that I want to use, and keep going for my own use. And I'm slowly getting there. And I hope this was interesting to somebody. So we'll catch you later.